If you know me, you will know that I like systems like this and maybe this. Well, folks, this is it. This is the very final episode in the Rigmarole, the series where I have been documenting the process of building my very first pedal board. Thank you so much for coming along for the journey. I'm going to do all of my thanks at the end, so please stick around for that. I want to share with you how grateful I've been and what to expect next on this channel.
Stay tuned after the feature for a very special message. And now, our feature presentation.
We have to dive into the final piece of the puzzle, and I've saved this till last for a good reason. It really pulls all of the pieces together at the end, and that is, of course, the actual board. And there's been discussions in comment section earlier in this series about why would you spend money on a board? Why not just get wood and Velcro? I might even see if I can find the little section I deleted from an earlier video where I address that issue. But here's what old me had to say about all of this. I'm going to leave you in her mostly capable hands to really set this story up, and I will check back in with you in a little bit. Ugh. Serves me right for using a pile of t-shirts as a tripod. Hello. So the theory is that instead of using sticky tape or Velcro or cable ties, there is this separate system for attaching your pedals. One thing worth addressing is this RockBoard system is not cheap. You know, I didn't pay for everything outright. I've had a little pile in the corner, and as I've saved up enough for the next piece, I've bought it and added it to the pile, and saved up enough for the next piece, added it to the pile until I had enough to actually sit and put it together, and that's taken me months and months and months. Annoyingly, this died on me before I even got around to making the rest of my proper board. So I need a new one of these, so that's quite annoying. And I probably bought a thing for it as well, which is even more annoying. I have this funny feeling I have a spare mount. Yes. Perfect. So the problem I've got here is because this pedal has little feet, the distance to screw in the plate is actually longer than the screws that come with it. The long screws they give you to get around that problem are also too fat. So why spend money on this when it would be so much cheaper to just get a plank of wood, some Velcro tape, done. But I would always rather invest up front in a long-term, high-quality solution than be constantly spending money upgrading when I find that I've grown out of the cheap wood and Velcro. I had friends recommend to me just use a chopping board, just go to Bunnings, buy some wood and make something yourself, and those are all perfectly valid things to do, but in my case, I wanted to save up for something high quality and professional that I could use forever. Ophelia, I'm going to have until I retire. Ophelia. Will that actually be the case? Maybe not. I funded my expensive pedal by selling a guitar. That's how this whole video started. But I could sell that guitar because it was a good one that had retained its value and I'd looked after it. And so yes, this system is expensive. Yes, there's more I need now that I've sat down and actually looked at it and figure out where my power box can go. I need to go buy another L-type mount. But again, it's an investment. High quality stuff retains its value, and that means I get to use high quality stuff that works for me for a long time, or sell it on and pay for the next thing. So I'm feeling really excited about this actually. But yeah, it's not cheap, and that just felt worth acknowledging. I've been thinking about what could this final episode of this series be about, because I've tried really hard to not just talk about gear. I'm not interested in what sounds music gear makes. I'm interested in what music gear makes, and that's a much bigger discussion. So I've always tried to have a subplot. Remember how I naively thought this would be a simple job, building my first pedalboard, and it would be one YouTube video? Well, I also naively thought that I would just do some research, buy 3 pedals, be happy for the rest of my life. That's not how it works. I fell down the rabbit hole. I'm still not happy with my pedalboard.
How much stuff do you need to be happy?
I don't know. How much stuff is there?
What are you supposed to do with that? That is something I have wrestled with through this whole process. Am I being greedy?
Maybe this would be a good topic for today's show.
You have to start by being honest with yourself. Do you want this thing because you think once you have that thing, then you will be happy? But also, it can really add value to you as a musician, having more versatility. Maybe you do session work, and being able to produce lots of different types of sounds for different genres is really good for you. Or maybe it's going to help you find your sound for you as an artist or a project that you're working on, and that might mean different guitar tone. So I think there is value in actually playing with these things. Now, I put off building a board for the longest time. I've already gone into this in episode 1, but I put it off because I never understood the obsession with tone that some people had. That world was so foreign to me. And I kind of looked at people who use pedals and thought, that's just an excuse and a crutch, and you should just learn better technique. And I'm sure that is true for some people, but absolutely, for some people, it is an informed part of their artistry, and I think that's really valuable. And it has surprised me how interested I have become in tone. Here's a little story for you. I was recently at a gig, and it was my friend CJ Stranger. It was him and like 20 guitars and a huge pedalboard, and also my cousin, who is his backing vocalist for this project, and they were singing on stage.
And they tie to every purpose under heaven.
Normally at a gig, my brain is busy writing charts and analysing chord progressions and thinking about rhythms and song structures, and that's what's going on in my brain. But for the first time, all I could think about was tone, and I kept trying to kind of look over the people in front to see what pedals he was using. So this has actually changed me as a musician, this process of building this pedal board. And I've come to appreciate the artistry of tone. And I want to address this idea that gear doesn't matter, because I have changed my mind. Gear can matter. I'm not saying gear does matter, but gear can matter. Where do I start thinking out loud about this in a helpful way on the internet? In the last episode, I introduced you to my JHS punchline. The guy who created that pedal, Josh Scott, calls what's been going through my brain the John Mayer paradox. If you want to emulate John Mayer, there's absolutely a long list of pedals you can go out and buy and plug them in and set them up the way that he does and play his PRS Silver Sky guitar, whatever it is, and you could sound like John Mayer. John Mayer could turn up to a gig without any pedals, play a guitar that he doesn't own, and he will still sound like John Mayer.
The paradox is, it's not about the expensive gear or the elaborate pedal board. It's really about the player.
There's also an interesting interview on Rick Beato's channel.
We spent years trying to get that Stuart Copeland snare and hi-hat sound. You know, tune it this way, try this, these type of cymbals, these type of drums. And then one day we were up at the barn at Trey's house. We were just gonna jam, and the only kit was around was Fishman had this crappy Ludwig or Rogers kit or something that was in pieces, just laying around with old heads on it, just like the polar opposite of anything you would think Stuart would play. He set it up, started playing it. It sounded exactly like Stuart Copeland.
Yeah.
That's how you attack your instrument.
Hello, it is editor Rihanna from the future. I've been sitting trying to unscramble my rambly thoughts and make this a seamless edit. I'm struggling. So I'm just going to say again the thing that I was trying to say when I was thinking out loud to camera. It's not that gear does not matter, but gear has to come after putting in the time to become a better player. So gear can matter, because there are situations where gear doesn't matter. If you haven't put in the time up front to work on your technique, the gear is not going to save you. But gear can bring a lot to the table, and that's why it can matter. If you've laid the foundation, then there's something really valuable that gear can bring. So back to past me rambling. Hopefully the next section makes a little bit more sense. So to bring this back around to the actual topic of this video, the RockBoard, is that a perfect piece of gear? No. Not every pedal I have bought has fitted on the RockBoard comfortably or easily or even at all. Because I bought a small one, my punchline doesn't fit, it just sits next to it on the floor. My small tuning pedal that I had bought over a larger one to try be economical with space doesn't actually save me space, because the nature of the system is that you can't cram things in the way that you could on a Velcro board, so it's not perfect. At the moment, my power box is just sitting there because I thought I could be clever and stick it underneath using their system, but it doesn't quite fit. It's a few mils too big, so I'm going to have to cable tie that. Hello again from the future. I am still editing. Unfortunately, cable tying my power to the bottom of the board didn't work. It got in the way of my tuning pedal, but, and this is always the way with the stuff that doesn't work, that you are forced to workshop again and again and again, I ended up with a very elegant solution I was very happy with. The RockBoard mounts all come with a spare sticky pad in case the screws just don't line up with the pedal or don't work for some reason. That's what I've been using on my tuning pedal this whole time. I've never had any issues. I don't know what black magic these sticky pads are made out of, but they stick very well, they're reusable, they don't leave residue, and I had a spare one, so I stuck that underneath the board, stuck the power to that, and then plugged everything in and ran my cables. It looks clean, it's out of the way, I trust it to stay stuck and stay put, so now I can just pick up my pedals and go make music. It's very exciting. Because what I've discovered through building this pedal board is that actually it has made me a better bass player. When I did get new gear, it elevated my playing and it got me excited about bass playing for the first time in a long time. And I think it got me excited about my sound as an artist for the first time in a long time. The album that we recorded, that we're currently mixing, it's different from everything else I've done, but it also feels the most me out of everything that I've done. And that's a thrilling feeling as an artist. Everything is fine. A friend of mine.
And now, the special presentation.
I need to and want to take a moment to thank you. I mean it when I say I don't care about the numbers. Some of my videos got me into film school and they had 20 views on them. Some of my videos gained interest from film festivals and same thing, no one was watching them. So I take the numbers with a grain of salt, but I do not take the people behind those numbers with a grain of salt. Someone offered to literally send me some gear just as a free gift the other day. Someone else emailed me to say, hey, you know that broken compressor? I actually know a guy near where you live that would be a great fix-it person. If you would like to get in touch with them, here's their number. Maybe they could fix your pedal for you. That is going above and beyond just watching a video and then moving on to the next thing. And I value those things so highly. It has meant the world to me. And also, YouTube is full of people who tell you how to do YouTube, and they all say you have to be consistent forever. You are stuck in this for eternity. And when this whole pedalboard thing naturally turned into a series, I decided to try something different, throw myself full-time into doing a series on YouTube, fully knowing I couldn't maintain that pace forever, but what if I can just do it for now? Because you came, because you actually engaged and encouraged me and gave me helpful feedback that I was excited about implementing each fortnight, I feel confident that this is a way to do YouTube that is going to work for me. So after this series, I'm actually going to put the brakes on and I'm going to go focus on something else. And that's just how my brain thrives, and that's also just what my career looks like. I work in film and TV, which means I do lots of short-term contracts. Sometimes I will be working full-time, and sometimes I will be frittering my time away doing random casual jobs like I am now, and I actually have time for YouTube. I'm really proud of the videos in this series. I cannot do this forever. It's taken a lot of hard work, and it's had to be my #1 focus. Even though I was also editing a short film, and even though I'm trying to get this album mixed, I have prioritized this. But now it's time for me to put this on the shelf and prioritize finishing the album. So that's what I'm going to throw myself into. I have every intention of coming back and doing a series about the album. I also want to make a smaller series about the new Bass 6 that I bought last year. I have thoughts and feelings about that music year, and I think that would be of interest to you guys. So I want to do those things. I'm going to do those things, but it's not going to be straight away. And I hope you understand and appreciate that that means you get something better, and I get to be passionate about this thing without burning out. So that's it from me. There's only one thing left to do in this series, and that is christen the pedal board. So you have been watching Remiles and The Rig, and we will be back before you know it with an entire new album. So, whenever that is, hopefully we'll see you then.